Hello again everyone, it's Carol here. I'm just messing again on my craft table. In fact, that's what I'm going to be doing all of this week, is just messing about with some of the bits and pieces that I need to be working on. So I know that I want to be working on the little folks project because I've got a journal on the go, and obviously I want to make things to go with it. So I've already pre-cut a whole load of the bits and pieces out, so I'm going to be working on those this week, and I'm going to be using the background paper. Now the first thing that I want to do is make a journal card, and I'll show you how I'm going to make that, and then I'm going to decorate up these paper bags. I don't know whether you can see the white, printed white onto craft paper, really pretty. And probably later on in the week I'll do an envelope one as well. So slurp of tea, get me going. And first thing I want to do is I'm going to cut out, well that's already cut out and inked up, so I might as well use that one. So I'm going to use that one, and I'm going to glue it onto the paper. Let me just see which end I want it. I think I'm going to have it that end. Glue, Carol. So we'll see if we can make two things in 30 minutes again. Okay. If the glue wants to come out to play, that is. Now I have to tell you that yesterday I was so tired from everything last week, because I find that I get tired real easy these days. I spent all day in bed yesterday. I was extremely hungry all day, but I also was just shattered. I tried to come into my craft room to do some work, and I just couldn't. I was just too tired. In fact, I'll tell you what else we'll do. We'll cut this one up as well. I want to cut this one to that line, not to the outer border, because I've already done a bit of a pre-measure, and I know that if I cut out the whole thing, it's not going to fit on my bag. So we'll cut you out. So yeah, so I spent practically all day in bed yesterday, apart from getting up, getting something to eat, back to bed, getting up, having something to eat, drink, tried to come in my craft room, body went, no, I'm still too tired. Ooh. Oh, if you can hear the humming in the background, it's because I've got the fan on, because it's just too warm in this craft room to not have it on, and it helps with my breathing as well, so I do apologise about the humming going on in the background. I've put it on as low as I can, because one of the things that we don't generally have in the UK is aircon. So yeah, so we have to do with fans. Oh, come on. Don't want to come out. Oh, come on, I'm on a time schedule, mate. There we go. I opened it wide enough. Okay, I'm going to put that on there. Just going to cuffly rough down the centre. I tell you, my teeth don't work. I need someone else's teeth. I don't like this getting hold of malarkey. Right, paper trimmer. Paper trimmer. Wherefore art thou? Here it is. So, with this is a little bit like watching a live. You get to see warts and all. So, if I mess it up, you'll get to see me messing it up. Just occasionally I'll splice a couple of bits together, but I'm going to see if I can do this in the 30 minutes in one go. Right, okay, this is the hardest bit now. It's trying to get the border the same on both sides. Let's do it there. Have I done it? Oh, fractionally narrower. Okay, a fraction off there then. Try and balance it up somewhat. There we go, that's pretty enough, isn't it? Okay, and this one, trim this one down as well. Do that edge first. And then I'll check to see if it fits on my paper bag. I'm going to keep that bit. That'll come in handy for something. Oh, I know. Okay, paper bag. Let's just make sure. Oh, look, fits on there beautifully. Okay. Now then, on this one, I want to put some lined paper on the back, and I've got a notepad that I got from, like, you know, one of them pound shops. And it's a real nice feel paper, lined obviously, as you can see, but it's got a creamy colour to it, so I want to stick this, excuse me, to that. So real simple. Oh, blooming heck, come on. Open your nozzle wider, Carol, and it'll work. You will find that I do a lot of talking to myself as well, and to inanimate objects. That's become a bad habit. Okay, we'll stick you down there in that corner, because I'm sure that we will find something for this leftover piece. Stick. I'm going to stick this to this, but I'm going to glue it round 3 sides. So let's ink that bit up whilst that glue's drying on that other one. Now, if you're a regular viewer of my videos, you will know that I like doing faux stitching. Let's use a 0.38. And I also like my Muji pens as well, M-U-J-I, Muji. So, oh, in fact, hang on. Narrow border at the bottom, bigger border at the top, Carol. Let's get rid of that. Balance that out a bit. Re-ink. Off we go. So yeah, I like drawing my stitchy lines. I have got a sewing machine and I do use it, but for me there is just something therapeutic, and like I've said before, I ain't got a clue what it is, but there's something for me therapeutic about just drawing on a dotted line. And occasionally, like now, I do a zigzag because I like to live dangerously. There we go. And it just kind of, I don't know what it is, but it kind of just finishes it off for me. It just frames it. So if you compare those two, this one to me looks finished, whereas that one doesn't. Does that make sense? It does to me anyway. Right, so we're going to glue around 3 sides and leave a top opening pocket. So I think, yeah, we'll put it about there, because then if I put a tag in this top pocket up here, there's enough room for it to hang about up there. And then I'm going to flip this one over, and this, it's a gusseted bag, so I'm going to stick that bit down. God, minute, it's coming out like a good one, this glue today. Other times I have to coax it to come out. I have to have a little word. So come on, this is your job. Oh my God, I think I'm cracking up. And I actually want a bit of this to stick on this bit down here. So let's just mark it with that. I can always trim the excess off afterwards. There's bottom there. Of course, this goes down in the realms of Carol doesn't measure anything. Okay, and if I turn it over, you see I've got the lines on the back now. And as I say, if I've cut this too big, I can always trim it down. And if I've cut it too small, I can always add to it. Okay, so height wise, about right. Width wise, a little bit too wide. Okay, let's just take a little off there. No, a little off there. Keep all the flowers. Yeah. Inky rinky dinky do. Now I'm going to have a slurp of tea because my mouth's drying up. Because this fan's on, it dries the air out too much. So, of course I could have added this on as a little pocket as well, but it does get to a point where you can have too many pockets. Whilst pockets are lovely, you've got to fill them. Okay, a slurp of tea. That was more like a gulp than a slurp. And I think what I might do, yeah, with the bit that's left over, I'm going to glue this one on the back, and then that can be a little journaling card. And then once I've cut that out, there's nowhere to write on the back of there. So I've got this, haven't I? So I can use some of that. Working on 2 projects at the same time here. Well, 3 actually, if you count that little one. Have a look from the... oh. There. Never mind. See if we can use that to our advantage. Another pocket. Okay. A pocket within a pocket within a pocket. Because then I can put the bits of writing paper inside. Fold you down. Getting glue everywhere. Right, mucky pup. And I could put several pieces of that lined paper inside of that little pocket, and then that will sit in there, look, like that. Okay, we'll come back to you in a minute, mate, don't worry, we haven't forgotten you. Just want to finish this back off now, as soon as I've got this far. I wonder if that one will be too much. That one might work. Let's trim a bit of that white off, because I trimmed out a little bit of it here for something else that I did. So it's left a load of white space. And someone, I think I've mentioned this before, someone was asking about how do you peel these off? My answer was, get yourself a swear jar, love. To be fair, I do have a little bit of a knack. Doesn't always work. But so somewhere at the bottom, this is maybe a bit too thin, but somewhere at the bottom here, and I've got longer nails, so that kind of helps. But I push on the front and it just helps to, you won't be able to see it, but it's now separated the paper from the clear plastic. And again, the other thing that I like to do is just part peel them, because otherwise they curl up like crazy. So this part, this acetate part, I'm just going to bend back on itself so that I can see that I've got this in the right position-ish. So probably about there. Let's pick that up, I've creased it. And burnish it down. Probably doesn't really need this flower on it, but it just adds to the prettiness of it all. Trim that little bit off the bottom, get rid of the backing, word, I think we'll use that one, the loveliest things, a little bit of that to sit it on, ink it up, and I'm only inking this up because I want it to stand out from the background picture. How am I doing on time? Ooh, 25 minutes. Might have to trim the video down a touch. Oh, that end. Some glue on that. And that little saying can go there. And to just finish it off, I'm going to use this butcher's twine, baker's twine, whatever you like to call it. I think it's butcher's twine, isn't it? I have this discussion every time. Make that a little bit longer so I can do a bow. Wrap it around twice. Can you hear the ice cream van? Anyone want a chalk ice? There we go, little bow. And then what I thought was, a bigger one. There we go, bigger one. Put that on the back of the bag with the smaller part on the inside. And then that means that that can then clip onto the edge of a page. The twine's going across the centre of that pocket. But yeah, I think that's quite cute. Okay, back to this journaling card that's got this writing paper on the back. Just want to trim the edge of that off. Ink it up. Do my faux stitching, and again this could have been added on the 3 sides, so then you've got a little side pocket. That's my faux stitching done. Slurpity. Find a little saying. I think that one, look, experienced workmen. Looking really studious. And then that can go on there, and because it's on the same paper, it sort of ties it all together. Don't want it in the middle. Want it up there, up top. And then I want some lace to form a loop at the top. That's going to be a bit long. I'm going to staple it on backwards, because normally we'd put the top bit of the stapler on the top, but I want to turn it that way so that the flat part is on the back and the folded over part of the staple, which is where you catch your fingers on the front. And then I want a flower, and I've already picked out my blue flowers. Trim a bit of that lace off. That's going to sit on top. And my little leaves. I'll have one coming out there and one coming out there, so I'll cut those stalks off and stick those down in a minute, and you can see it at the end. But what I want to do on the back, I could maybe add it there. This little strip of paper, I thought might as well use it. So make a little belly band with it. Glue. Just trim off a bit of that excess lace again. Chuck that on the floor. So I'm a heathen. Okay. Bit of glue at the top, bit of glue at the bottom. Put it that way around. And I'll go off and clear my decks, glue those flowers and the flower and the leaves in place, and then I'll come back and show you them all done and dusted. Well, if truth would be told, it's probably taken me about an hour from start to finish, gathering the bits together and deciding what I was going to do and then completing them, because I had to stitch my buttons, so I had to do that, and I had to go and find me ball pins and a charm. So taking all that into consideration, I don't think that's too bad that it's taken me an hour to do these. So this is the little paper gusseted bag that I can add things inside. There's the paper clip on the back so that I can attach that to a page. There's a little pocket on the back where I can add some journaling cards, and this is the one that I fluffed up. So I did a little pocket on the back and added some papers. And then this, I'm trying to wipe that boat off. I thought it was a bit of muck. This is the little journaling card. I added some more flowers and leaves down the bottom to just kind of finish it off. And then on the back, now this was the extra thing that I did as well. I backed these with paper from the really useful delicate kit, and so I've added those underneath the belly band as well. All in all, not a bad day's work, I don't think, but at least 2 more items made for my little folks journal. Thanks for joining me again today, and I'll see you in the next video where I'm going to decorate some of these envelopes up, or one at least. See you again soon. Bye.